My name is Tim Fowler, and I'm president of the Cuyahoga County Fair Board. And on behalf of the Fair Board, I would like to welcome everybody to this historic event. This is not a yearly event. This is a one-time happening. So you're all witnessing for the first and only time the dedication of our wind turbine. It's a memorable day for Berea, Ohio, Cuyahoga County, and the state of Ohio. On behalf of the society, the Agriculture Society, the project has come together with a tremendous amount of effort on a lot of people's part. Today with us we have political leaders, we have design engineers, we have educators and leaders in the community, we have students, we have citizens, we have Fair Board representatives. And this particular project has brought together and harnessed construction workers, local manufacturing, local trucking, and is a stepping stone not only for sustainability but also for education and jobs and future educational opportunities here in Cuyahoga County. This project didn't just happen. It's been over 4 years in the making. There were a lot of hurdles to go through. The location, the height, the proximity to the airport, countless efforts of time and energy. But I really believe every hurdle that we went through made this a better project, either better in technology or even better by the facility that we're standing in. The effort has been worth a lot of time and dollars. It really takes from the federal level with stimulus money, it goes to the state level for contributions, it goes to the county level, and right here to the local level of the city of Berea. The turbine, you may wonder why a turbine on the fairgrounds. Well, the turbine is a statement for sustainability. And the Fair Board, in its recent past, has taken a mission for education. Not only education for agriculture, but education towards sustainability. And sustainability and agriculture have a big play in today's marketplace. It shows that there's alternative means for many of the things that we take for granted when it comes to power and energy. We promise as a Fair Board to be good stewards of this project. We know what it takes to trip and fall and get back up. And we have a definite commitment towards using this and reaching out into the community and bringing the community into here to personally witness and look at what can be done in today's environment. We welcome everybody. We'll go through a few more items. We'll walk out. We'll take a touch and feel and a cut the ribbon. And we're glad you took time out of your busy schedules to join us on this memorable occasion. Thank you. I'm probably the one person in this room that needed to be introduced to everybody here. One person that doesn't need to be introduced, but I would like to take a moment and talk about Ed FitzGerald. Ed is a household name in our neighborhoods and in our community these days, and for a lot of good reasons. Personally, you know, Ed has taken on the challenge of bringing some leadership and some change within our county and for the citizens. Ed has had a career of servicing others. He's a graduate of the Ohio State University, as well as the Cleveland Marshall Law School. And Ed was commissioned after school as a special agent with the FBI. He has practiced law in the private sector. He's a supervising assistant county prosecutor for this county. Most people have known him as mayor of Lakewood. In that position he held, he brought together improved social services and economic balancing within that community. And he is now the current executive director of Cuyahoga County. His major initiatives throughout all of his career, including today, are to save dollars, restore integrity to government and to the citizens. We welcome Mr. Ed FitzGerald.
Well, thank you very much, Tim and everybody from the Fair Board who do a tremendous amount of work and a lot of volunteer hours. And this is really dedicated to you because this has been a long work in progress, and a lot of people here have put a lot more work into it than I have. That's for sure. It's an old political tradition to just take credit for things, but there's a lot of people here who did a lot of work. I just want to recognize, besides the ladies and gentlemen from the Fair Board, Tim and others who put so much work into this, some of my colleagues in county government, Councilman Jack Schron and Councilman Julian Rogers, our council president, Ellen Connolly, Councilman Mike Gallagher, who's taken a special interest in the Fair Board. Is this part of your district, Mike? Okay, so you have a good reason too. And also some of the local elected officials. Tim DeGeeter, who started working on this project when he was a state representative, and now is mayor of the city of Parma, and Mayor Kleem, of course, from the great city of Berea. And I also want to recognize some of the union folks who are here who did the real hard work of helping to construct this and refurbish this wonderful wind turbine here behind me. So Tim McCarthy and all the guys from the Iron Workers Union, we appreciate what you do, and we're glad we had a partnership with you. Also, our Public Works Department, some of those folks are here. They've been working on this project. And there are also a lot of people that used to work for the county that I see that are back here, people like Paul Yaski from the Development Department that put a lot of, again, this was a 4-year project, and a lot of people put a lot of work into it. And so I want to, just for my part, I want to thank all of you. I just want to say briefly, today is a nice event and a great day on so many different levels because this project is a combination of so many good things happening at the same time. First of all, it's a very prominent physical symbol of the way government should work because we took grant money from the state and from the federal government and we used it in a responsible way. We used it in a way that made the fairgrounds a more sustainable operation and helped bring it into the 21st century. So that was responsible. We used an American manufactured product, and we used local American union labor, and that was the right way to do it also. So every time you hear somebody say that stimulus funds never created any jobs, why don't you come on out here? Why don't you talk to some of the people that work here, because it did create jobs in the right way. Also, we have this whole partnership with our educational institutions. So it's such a great thing that it's not, yeah, it's great. It's going to save, by the way, the fairgrounds about $50,000 a year on their utility bills, and that's great. But think of the ripple effect that this is going to create because folks from Polaris, from the vocational center there, they're going to be trained in maybe a career that may last them for the next 30, 40 years because of the educational partnership that's going to exist in connection with this facility here, in this center here. Baldwin Wallace also, we have this partnership with Baldwin Wallace, so their students are going to be able to take advantage of this. This is the second, by the way, wind turbine opening that we've had in Cuyahoga County in the last year or so. And in both of those projects, I'm proud to say that the county happened to be a partner in it. So I hope when you, in years to come, when you see this, there's a lot of things that you think about. You think about the hard work from the folks from the fairgrounds. You think about all the union brothers and sisters that help construct it, but you also keep in mind that county government is doing what it was advertised and what it promised to do, and that is trying to build a partnership of all these great institutions and coming together for a really great purpose that makes us a stronger community, a more sustainable community, and helps us fulfill the potential that we know that this county has. Now at this time, I'm supposed to turn it over to someone, but I don't know who. Who should I turn? Who is the next? Is it Joanne? Are you the? I want to recognize Joanne Scudder for a few words. Joanne, go right ahead.
Thanks, thank you so much. This has been a long time coming, as you heard Mr. FitzGerald say, and it certainly would not happen without the wonderful community that we have and all the partners here in this room, and those that couldn't be with us today. I could take probably an hour to go through names of people that started with us and finished with us. And you know, but we never gave up. It's all about faith. And we had a dream, we had a vision. I used to stand by this fence and look out over that fence, and I would wonder what that would look like. I could see it in my mind. Nobody else could. And I'm sure there's a few people that thought I was a little, whoop, but that's all right. And through the diligence and perseverance, it came to be. We were blessed in the beginning. We had worked with a gentleman from the county who's here with us today, Nick Wallace, who sort of had a vision about it. He was working with the feasibility studies for the turbines in Lake Erie, and we just sat there and said, well, hey, the Fairgrounds would be a great place. And that's actually how it started. We had gone to another gentleman at the county and told him of this great idea, and he said, yeah, but we're not giving you any money. So we had a challenge then. We had to pick up that gauntlet and run forward and find the monies to do this, which we did. And I am so grateful, Ed, to you and the county council for picking up that gauntlet through the changes and running with it. Because you could have said, oh, no, we're not doing that. But, you saw the same thing that we saw. And our partners from Polaris are here. I certainly want to recognize them. They sat through a number of very long meetings with us on many occasions. They were always there to encourage us. Ed Yeager, who teaches the computer technology course and the electronics course, was always very encouraging. And without you, it would not have happened. You all came to our aid. You kept talking about it, even though, well, I thought it was going to be up in 6 months. I thought, well, this will be easy. We'll do our thing, and then it'll be up in 6 months, and then the real challenge begins. But that's what happens now, is the real challenge begins. Because now that we have this wonderful turbine and this great facility, we know that you are looking to us, and you're going to say, well, okay, you've got that. We did that for you. We supported you. Now we're going to stand back and watch what you do with it. And we're up for that challenge. We are up for that challenge. Working with BW and Dr. David Kruger, who's the co-director of the sustainability program, we are looking for great things. And Polaris, it's going to be awesome. And I thank you for all coming today and being a part of that process. It's the best. I keep saying it's the best. People say, well, how do you feel about it? Well, it's just the best. Listening to all the conversations, it's wonderful. I stand out here and listen to people coming into the fairgrounds for the different events. I don't say anything like, hey, how do you like the wind turbine? I just stand there and listen to what they say. And they've all been positive. We've had people that have seen it from the freeway, and they're drawn to it like a moth to, oh, wait, maybe I shouldn't use that. Like a beacon. And they come, and we had people picnicking when we were doing the construction, so it's been a great thing. I also would like to recognize Mike back there, Mike Shepard, superintendent of Berea Schools. We're going to be partnering with them also. So I could go through and talk about every person in this room because you all have contributed. The neighbors at the end of the driveway, the Hockett's, who came to our first meeting, they've been very supportive. So it's awesome. I can't think of a better group for a family, and I'm looking for some new family members, so if anybody would like to apply, I'd love to have all of you. But thank you for coming today. We have a cake and some punch, and after we cut the ribbon, we're going to come back in, and we'd hope to share some of that with you, and thank you for all the things that you've done. And Mr. Gallagher, you've been wonderful too. It's a great experience, and I think you're going to see some great things, not only from Fairgrounds, but the people that come and get exposed to this. Because a lot of people are not very familiar with it. And when they come here, set out their picnic blanket and bring their strollers and take the kids out just to watch the turbine, that speaks volumes to me. So thank you. Thank you.
I know there's some other representatives from some other institutions. Marty Gelfand from Congressman Kucinich's office.
So a certificate of special recognition from the congressman for this ribbon cutting.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I think we might have had do we have a representative from Senator Brown's office, Sherrod Brown's office? Oh, they were tentative. Is there anybody else that we needed to recognize? Am I leaving anybody out? I'm sure I am.
I think Aaron.
Aaron Godwin.
Aaron Godwin, yeah.
Why don't you step forward if you could, sir, and say a few words to us. Thank you. Thanks.
Well, first of all, thank you all for coming. This is not a story about states or counties or cities or towns. We all hear about that. The county did this, the state did this. I really want to take an opportunity to recognize the folks that were behind the scenes, those state employees, and we're looking at one right there, Mr. Meadows, the county employees, Barb, and the predecessors. Kind of had a joke. The project was lasting, the staff were dropping off at these various locations. The citizens of the communities. We're the project manager, owner's rep for the county on behalf of the Fairgrounds for both this building and the Turbine project. I'd certainly like to recognize my staff. A lot of folks don't know what it took to make this happen. Thousands, literally thousands of pages of paper, thousands and thousands of hours, and they read a lot of it, so they know that it was there. Crystal Naylor, you know, she's on salary, but this is not a salary job. This was a volunteer job when you really look at the hours spent. Really incredible service spent. You know, there were 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning days that were happening. Really incredible. This is also about leveraging. You kind of look at the story here. All right, well, the Fed will give us money for this, but then we need the state money to match it, but the county doesn't really have every money, so how do we do that? Well, how do you leverage that? Well, we leverage it with a building. So we leveraged the turbine with a building and made that happen. We found out we had a cistern, a historic cistern out here that was a nightmare during construction. Well, what do you do about that? Well, we leverage it and turn it into an exhibit. So now it will provide actually free, fresh water for irrigation on the Fairgrounds plants. And, oh, well, by the way, we didn't have a solar representation here, so how do we do that? Well, we got a solar tracker, so kids will actually be able to drive the tracker, and that tracker will pump the water, which will go into the cistern, which will water the petunias out in the field. Well, we need wireless for the internet support for this turbine as a requirement. Well, how do we do that? Well, the utility wanted $10,000 to do that. Well, we don't have $10,000. How do we make that happen? Well, we took it on, made it happen, and well, why just do internet for this building when we could do the whole campus for the same price? And so now they don't just have internet on the campus, they have a complete mesh network that covers the entire campus with secure networks. It's about leveraging. And if you look at every single aspect of this, the way the Fed handled it, even though they were nightmares at certain points, they were really incredible people there that could have just said no, and they stayed up. And that's what, you know, Joanne said it. A lot of this is just about standing up. Citizens standing up, doing what they believe is true and right for the public good, looking with not just today's vision, but in the future. When we think about what this state could be, there was a study done. Ohio was #2 in potential jobs in the wind industry. That's making the toys, the machinery, the equipment that makes this happen. #2, only behind California. The key word is potential. Are we as a state going to give that up to another state? Michigan, Pennsylvania, pick your state. California, go on. South Carolina, North Carolina, they're all in now. Are we going to give that up, or are we going to grasp it and make it our own? A lot of folks don't know it all started here. Charles Brush, Euclid Avenue, first utility interconnected turbine, right here, 1800s. Connected, ran beautifully for 10 plus years. First offshore, one of the first offshore wind turbines was actually out in the Lake Erie on the Crib. A lot of people don't know that. First utility scale turbine, Plumbrook, research facility. And we had our last energy crisis that, quote, ended. We kind of gave that away, and we've been fighting to get it back. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity to congratulate the community on what the community has accomplished. And I'd like to thank everybody. Thank you.
I want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank members of the media who came out here and reported on something very positive and constructive that we've been working on.
Ready?